moments ago. Now here is one for the books. Michael Beasley looking to check in for the Lakers and then is told, hey, Michael, come on back. You're wearing the wrong shorts. And he heads back to the locker room instead of wearing the proper shorts. He had to make the change. That's future material for Shaqtin.
I was going to say, he's Shaqtin the Fool.
Yes.
He's Shaqtin the Fool. Can't wait to see what the guys in the studio.
Now, when you first saw this clip of Michael Beasley forgetting to put his game shorts on, you probably got a good laugh out of it. But the backstory behind what had happened to Michael Beasley prior to this game will surprise you. Here's the backstory behind what was supposed to be an NBA funny moment. But first, let's take a look at Beasley's career before this game. Growing up in PG County in a small town of Cheverly, Maryland, Beasley would grow up in a single-parent household with his mom, his 5 siblings, and his cousin. Michael Beasley was a phenomenal, talented basketball player. PG County has produced a lot of NBA basketball players throughout the years, such as Markelle Fultz, Jeff Green, Ty Lawson, Jared Jack, and Victor Oladipo. Growing up playing basketball, Beasley was a street ball park type of player in Maryland, but would begin to play AAU travel basketball with Kevin Durant at 10 and 11. But Beasley was a rebounding player and not fully developed as a scorer. But him and KD would be very close friends during those times through basketball, where they would try to dunk on each other at local rec centers, saying, quote, "KD was like my real friend, like sleepovers. Like he was the first time I ever brought my Xbox out the house." His freshman year of high school, him and Kevin Durant would go to the same high school at National Christian, but Beasley wouldn't have the grades in order to play in semester 1. So Beasley would transfer to IMG Academy in Florida for a year, where he would start to evolve as a player and start to get into the weight room. He would continue to keep transferring schools from Riverdale Baptist School to Oak Hill with Kevin Durant to a prep school in Massachusetts called Notre Dame Prep. He would later end up being selected as the McDonald's All-American his senior year of high school and would win game MVP with 23 points and 12 rebounds and would be the #1 rated prospect out of the class of 2007. After high school, he would commit to Kansas State, where he would have a magnificent 1 season as a Wildcat, averaging 26.2 points per game and 12.4 rebounds a game, winning League Freshman of the Year, the Big 12 Conference Player of the Year, which only 4 other players in Kansas State history were able to do, and the 12th overall to be selected as either Freshman or Newcomer of the Year since 1970. After a dominant college career, he would declare for the 2008 NBA Draft, where there were a lot of questions about Beasley coming into the draft, such as, does he take the game seriously, and about his character. But it wouldn't affect his draft stock because he would later get drafted to the Miami Heat with the 2nd pick of the NBA draft. But shortly after this draft pick, Beasley would get into an incident that wouldn't give him a good look coming into the league. In 2008, after being drafted, Beasley would attend a rookie symposium and would admit to being in an incident with Heat guard Mario Chalmers and Darrell Arthur at a resort where the event was taking place with 2 women in their rooms, which violated the NBA policy for the event. One of the security guards at the resort also stated that there was a scent of marijuana detected, but no drugs were found in their rooms. Although Beasley's involvement in the incident was unclear, he was fined $50,000 for the situation. Pat Riley would later say, "While we are disappointed with Michael's involvement, we are pleased that he chose to come forward and stand with his teammates and accept the consequences for his actions. We are hopeful that both Michael and Mario have learned from this experience, and we will have no further comment on the subject." But fortunately enough, Beasley would not get suspended when the season started. In his rookie year, he would struggle at the beginning of the year, only starting 19 games, but he would average 13.9 points per game and 5 rebounds, earning him an NBA All-Rookie Team selection. But Michael's decisions off the court would make his time in Miami come to an end. In the summer of 2009, Beasley was enrolled in a league drug program. He was in rehab first as an outpatient, but his status would later be changed to an inpatient. In the 2010 offseason, the Miami Heat would trade away Michael Beasley to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for 2011 and 2014 second-round draft picks, as well as clear salary cap space in order to sign LeBron James and Chris Bosh, as well as re-sign Dwayne Wade. Despite Michael Beasley having a great scoring season with the Minnesota Timberwolves, averaging 19.2 points per game and 5.6 rebounds in his first season with the Wolves, Beasley's off-the-court problems wouldn't end in Miami, because in July of 2011, he would get ticketed for possessing marijuana and speeding, going 84 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. And in a 2011 exhibition game at Dyckman Park, Beasley was shown getting into a heated back and forth with a fan on the sidelines and would later be seen pushing the fan in the face. And in the 2012 offseason, Michael Beasley would be traded to the Phoenix Suns for a 3-year, $18 million contract. He would average 10.1 points off the bench, where he would start 20 games and play 76 that year. But his time on the Suns would only last one season, as he would get into off-court problems again. He would get arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona with possession of marijuana at a traffic stop, and the Phoenix Suns would release him. He would then continue to bounce around the NBA, including a return to the Miami Heat in the 2013-2014 season. In the 2014 offseason, he would sign a non-guaranteed deal with the Memphis Grizzlies, but he would get waived in training camp, where he would later sign a contract with the Shanghai Sharks and would average 25 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, and would earn him another contract for the Heat, where he would play 23 games there and average 9.1 points per game and 3.5 rebounds a game. After a short time with the Miami Heat, he would continue to bounce around the league, from playing with the Houston Rockets, Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, where he would have a good season there, averaging 13.2 points per game and 5.6 rebounds, including a season-high 32 points and 12 rebounds against the Boston Celtics in December of 2017. He would get MVP chants from the Knicks fans at the Madison Square Garden. After a great season for Michael Beasley on a bad team, everything looked well with him and the Knicks front office. But in that 2018 offseason, when the Knicks offered him a minimum contract, Beasley decided to leave in free agency to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2018-2019 NBA season. But that season would take a complete spiral in Michael Beasley's life forever. During the 2018-2019 NBA season, there were high hopes that Beasley would be a great contribution to the Lakers after a great season a year ago, and with LeBron James joining the Lakers in free agency. But an unfortunate occurrence would happen in Beasley's life during that season with the Lakers. During that NBA season, Michael Beasley would find out some unfortunate news that would be life-changing. His mom would be diagnosed with cancer, and he would find out that news in October and fly out to her to see her, and wouldn't be with the team for 6 weeks. He wouldn't return to the team until December, but as soon as he got back to LA to play for his team, he would get a call from his aunt telling him that his mother may not make it. So Beasley would then go back to visit her, but shortly after, she would pass away on December 23rd, 2018, 2 days before Christmas Day. Despite being in a phase of grief, Beasley would rejoin the Lakers on January 4th, 2019. On January 16th, 2019, the Lakers were going up against the OKC Thunder in Oklahoma, but the night before this game, Beasley would receive more shocking news. His cousin had died the night before that game, and Beasley had to make a quick decision on whether he would leave the team again to go to the funeral or stay with the team. On the Pivot podcast, Beasley said he was supposed to leave that morning, but he decided to stay with the team because he had already missed 6 weeks with the team and didn't want to make it seem like he didn't want to play. So coming back to the clip at the beginning of the video, Beasley was checking into the game and forgot his shorts, but everyone didn't know that he lost a family member before that game, saying, quote, "My mom died when I was playing for the Lakers. My cousin died the game I forgot my shorts in Oklahoma. I was battling that day. I wanted to go to the funeral, but I was already gone when my mom died. I just wanted to be there for the team, and the whole world just laughed at me. Off the court, my mom died when I was playing for the Lakers. I fought through that, and I came back. I was trying to be strong. I was trying to show her I could be tough. That shit was hard. I'm not gonna lie. When it happened, it felt like an excuse. That's why I never said anything. I've been battling confidence issues my whole life. Everybody's voices everybody's negative opinions. I was 19 and they were expecting me to be a grown-up. And in 2019, before the trade deadline, the Lakers would trade Beasley and Zubac to the Clippers, but he would get waived by the Clippers. And since the Lakers were the last team to trade him, they were not allowed to re-sign him despite them having an open roster spot. And that would be the last time Beasley would be on an NBA official roster, and looked like it would be a potential end to his NBA career. But fortunately, his story wouldn't have such a sad ending, because Beasley would play for the Portland Trail Blazers Summer League team, where he would play 5 games and average 11.4 points per game and 3 rebounds. And after that, it would be reported that he would sign a 7-figure contract to play in the CBA on the Shanghai Sharks next season, with Yao Ming being the owner of the team. But it would be a very emotional story behind what was looked upon as just another NBA funny moment. Despite all the pain Beasley was dealing with that game, he put all his personal problems aside to be there for his team. After reading this story and making this video, it put a lot of things into perspective, like how important it is to have a great support system around you that you know you can trust and talk to during any time, and to make sure your mental health is good while playing the sport you love, whether you're playing at the high school level, college level, or even pro level. Like always, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow my socials for more updates, and I'll see you in the next video.